Hello, hello. Karina here. I'm just trying to get this stuff set up here in this Facebook thingy. Got a question. Today is our She Crushes Ecom Empower Hour. It's not really gonna be an hour, but we like to call it that. We like the name. If you've got a question, drop it in the chat. So these Empower Hours are going to be to help you and to give you a taste of what we do inside Ecom Academy. So we're looking still, we've got about 5 openings in Ecom Academy. And if you're interested in learning more about that program, drop 5K in the chat and we can help you with that. Notice that Facebook just sent out on Messenger, I believe that I'm live. Let's check real quick. This is something new that we're doing because we want to see you guys successful. And there are a lot of ladies in this group in particular and that follow us on this page that are stuck. And so let me know. I'm just checking to make sure that that's, yeah, it's sent out a thing that I'm live. That is so cool. So this is to help you get unstuck and to give you a little piece of what it's like to work with Maria and I inside the Academy. So if you're on, drop a chat. I always say drop a chat. It's actually not a chat. It's a message. Drop a message and tell me where you're from and tell me what your biggest challenge is, because a lot of ladies are stuck right now and we want to get you unstuck because Black Friday is coming, Cyber Monday. In our thing, we went back and looked at my stats and I think it was like $58,000 that I did just in that time period. I can't remember the time period it was. I think it was like 2 days. Could have been 2 days. It was probably 2 months. It was 2 months. So anyway, now you can see, right? And I know the economy is bad, but people are still spending money. So there are ladies out there that are still making sales. So if you're not making sales, let's talk about why. Hey, Renee. I'm pretty sure. Now, Renee, tell me. Yes. Oh my gosh, Renee. So you got some followers added yesterday from our live, right? So tell me how many followers you have on your page right now. I would love to know. I think last I checked it was 76. So if you're watching this later, you're watching the replay. I know we have a lot of ladies that work full time. Tell me, what is your biggest challenge? And we're going to talk about those things on Fridays so that we can kind of like break ourselves loose of that and get you guys moving down the road. So if you're watching, I'm live on the page right now, not in the group. And I don't know how that affects things because I went live in the group yesterday and today I'm live on the page. So I don't know if the group people are getting notified or not, but let me know, Renee. Renee, how many followers do you have right now? Because we talked about this yesterday. You have to have 100 followers to go live. So if you don't have 100 followers, you can't go live on your page. And that's one of the things that you can do to bring in sales. Hey, Linnell, she says she's trying to build up her Facebook page and get more engagement. Yeah, definitely. And don't feel bad. I have 160, I think I have 165,000 followers on my Facebook page, and I still do not get great engagement. And that page has been up. I think I opened my page in like beginning of 2014. I don't think I had a Facebook page initially. It might have been 2013. So don't feel bad if you're not getting a ton of engagement. And honestly, engagement doesn't mean sales, right? So let's talk about what I was going to talk about today, the 3 things that are the keys to e-commerce success. And I'll tell you what they are. The first one is mindset. The second one is knowing your target audience. And what do you think the third one is? It's something that you wouldn't think is that important. And initially, when I first started, I did not even think about this because it's literally so simple, but it is the one thing that a lot of ladies that start, I don't want to say, I would say they're not great at it. And you have to really focus on your business to be good at this, and it's consistency. So the ladies that are doing 6 figures a year and more that I work with, the one thing, now, honestly, they all have a great mindset. They believe that they can do it. They may not have had that in the beginning, but they have it. You get rolling and you just stay consistent and keep a great mindset and you'll make it work. So the one thing that I see is most common with ladies that, we're kind of an IT shop too, because I have an IT degree. I was a programmer before I opened my boutique. So we're a Shopify partner, and I've set up, oh my gosh, I've probably set up 5,000 stores by now. And we're a partner, and I've been using Shopify since 2013. And the one thing is the mindset. And I can tell, I have a pretty good guess of who's going to be successful based on their emails to me. So how many of you have been frustrated in the beginning? Tell me in the comments, have you been frustrated with your store? And so does that frustration lead you to find answers to the problems? Or do you just lose your mind and just start, like some people, you can get in a bad mood, right? When you're confused. And so I get so many emails, and I get ladies that have the shortest fuse sometimes. And I feel like just telling them, you might as well just walk away now. You're not going to be successful in this, because if you can't, stay calm and learn, right? Because it's all a learning process, all of it. I'm still learning stuff today because, as you all know, in IT, like e-commerce, stuff changes literally daily. I logged into Facebook yesterday to go live. There's all this new stuff in there, right? So if you're one of those people that gets frustrated with change, this is going to be a little bit hard for you, because the whole e-commerce business is all about change, and you have to roll with the punches, right? And sometimes I have ladies, oh my gosh, you guys, I had one lady I emailed with for 3 weeks trying to get access to her store. And do you know that that lady did not lose her patience throughout the entire 3 weeks? The process, we were trying to troubleshoot. Why is it not working? And that happens a lot, you guys. I was help desk for about 300 people for 2.5 years. And so I had people all over the United States that I supported. So I'm very, very good at doing, tech support over email. I very rarely get on, Zoom with someone that's having issues. And I can tell you that the ladies that lose their mind and get so frustrated that they lose their patience with me, I feel like just saying, you're not going to make it, you might as well just walk away now, because this still happens to me to this day. There are still things that frustrate me that don't work, and they're always going to be. So you have to be in it for the long haul, right? And so that's why we talk about what our why is. If you've done my boot camp, or if you're in one of the academies, or even taken the challenge, a big part of it is your why. So tell me, what's your why? I know we only have a few on, and it's Friday afternoon, and a lot of the ladies are at work. They emailed me and asked me, is this going to be recorded? So tell me what your why is, because that's what you're going to think about when you're having a bad day or you're frustrated. So drop in there. What's your why? Like initially, the whole reason that I wanted to have my own business was because I had a job I worked downtown. I had to be there at 7. I got off at, I think, 4:30. So I had to drop my son off. He's 27 now, but he was like 3 back then. I would drop him off at daycare at let's see, it took me about 35 minutes to get to work. So I had to drop him off at 6:15, to daycare. And I didn't get to see him until I got off work at, let's say, 4:30. I can't remember the exact time. It's been so long ago. And it took me 45 minutes in traffic at least to get back to his daycare to pick him up. And I was missing his childhood. And so I thought, I've always been an entrepreneur, and I thought, you know what, I am done. I am done with this. I'm not working for anyone else. I haven't worked for anyone else since 2003 when I bought my donut shop. And like my children now, I have a 16-year-old and a 13-year-old, they've grown up with me at home with them the whole entire time, right? And so that's my why. So some days I'm laughing because I do have some bad days. You guys would not believe some of the stuff that happens with my businesses. I have a couple, right? I think about, okay, this is not good. I don't like what's happening right now. But the alternative is me going to work for someone from 8 to 5, right? So you think about your why and you say, oh my gosh, I'm so lucky to be able to do this, right? And so then I think, okay, why am I complaining? Right? I'm my own boss. I get to do what I want. I get to work when and where I want. So that's part of the mindset. You have to have that why, and it has to be strong. Sandra, I know. And Sandra, you've been extremely patient with your Shopify issues that you've been having. And believe me, it is not just you. Yeah, it can be very frustrating, but when you've got to think about your why, right? And the other thing is you want to surround yourself with the right people too. You have to, I try to stay positive no matter what's going on because I understand how lucky I am, right? And I also surround myself with people that are positive also. So if there's someone that's complaining all the time, I avoid them. You can love them from afar, right? And there are even some family members like that. You have to love them from afar. They don't understand what you're doing. They may not support you. And that's fine. No one supported me since I bought my donut shop. Everyone said not to buy it, and I did anyway. And thank goodness that I was so strong headed, right? I knew my why, and that was to be home with my son. So you have to surround yourself with positive people. So you need to be very careful. Have you ever heard of you become who you hang out with? I've told my kids that from the time they can understand what I was even saying. You have to be so careful who you surround yourself with. Right? So tell me in the comments, are you surrounding yourself with positive people? Who are the top 5 people that you talk to? And are they bringing you up or are they dragging you down? Right? And so there are a few people in my life that are not positive people, and they know now, do not complain to me. I'm not a sounding board for people that are complaining. I'm just not. Go find someone else. I'm sure there's someone else that would love to sit and complain with you, right? But that's part of your mindset. You have to keep yourself in the right state of mind, right? I cannot tell you how important that is. And even some people in my family make fun of me because I'm so positive, because they'll be complaining and I'll be like, well, but the positive side of it is blah, 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 and they're like, what is with you? And they've just learned over the years, right? Because, stuff happens and it's not hard or everybody would do it, right? So it's good and it's bad. It's hard, but if it was easy, everybody would do it. And so you have to think about, it's hard, but it's worth it, right? Number 2, we've got mindset, knowing your target audience, and consistency. Number 2 is knowing your target audience. So you have to have that target person. And even Lululemon has a person, I still cannot remember her name. Someone told me one time they have one lady that they run the business for. It's this one avatar, and everything they do, they think about, would she buy this? Lululemon, right? So you have to think about, that must be really important. If big, I don't know if, I guess they're billion-dollar companies now. If they're running their business based on one avatar, who is your avatar? Who is your customer? Type in the chat, who is your customer? And if your answer is, I don't know, let's talk about it. Because I know that I personally am not my boutique's customer. I'm wearing a t-shirt from Target, you guys. I do not spend a lot of money on clothes, right? Because my daughter rides horses. So all my money goes to horses. And so we joke about that, you know. I can't afford clothes because my daughter rides horses. But you have to think about that. And your customer doesn't necessarily have to be you, right? So drop in the comments. I want to know, who is your customer? And if you don't know who your customer is, you know, we'll talk about it. The last one is consistency. And I can tell you, I've got in my head a few people that I work with that are extremely consistent, that are doing the work every single day. So are you consistent? And what are some of the things that you need to be consistent with? So tell me in the chat, you know, what are some things that you're consistent with? Oh, Sonia says sororities. That's cool. Renee says fun, positive, beautiful souls. But female, how old are they? What's their age range? Right, Renee? Tell me, dig it a little deeper. Pretend like it's one person. Linnell says female 45 and up who likes to dress stylish and comfortable. Yeah, so Linnell, when she's adding products, she's like, okay, would this person wear this? Is it stylish? Is it comfortable? Right? You have to have that person in mind, or even an age range, right? Because if you don't, you're going to confuse your customer. They're going to be like, is this for me? Instead of, oh, this is for me, when they hit your website. Sandra says women age 25 to 40. That's perfect, right? Because then you could say, okay, they're 25 to 40. What kind of clothing do they wear? Hold on a second, sorry. What kind of clothing do they wear? Do they like boho, right? Do they like, you know, Western? What do they like? You know, and what you start with may not be what you end up with, right? When you're first starting your store, it's kind of a test period, right? And if you don't test, you don't learn. So if you're drop shipping, for example, you can add denim. Do they like denim? Will they buy denim? You know, that's some of the stuff that we're blessed with since we have drop shipping. You know, you can add these products and categories without having to spend money on it. You can test out different things. So don't just put some products on your store and say, oh gosh, you know, this boutique just isn't working. It's all a process. You have to consistently be trying new things. And even when I build stores, sometimes I'll put things on there that I know aren't going to sell, but they're going to make the store look better. So think about that. What would be one of the reasons to do that? Right? Sandra says off-shoulder tops, maxi dresses, accessories. Yeah. And, you know, Stephanie, one of our private clients, her people like maxi dresses. So she at first had all kinds of stuff, right? We did some testing. We found out that they liked maxis. So now she makes sure that she has new maxis on there all the time. And maybe something is really great, but you don't think it'll sell well. Well, with drop shipping, add some of those products and just see how they do. And there's also a thing called price anchoring, you know, that we talk about in the academy where, well, and in the private coaching, we dive a lot deeper into it. But, you know, maybe you put some things that are higher priced to make the stuff you want to sell more appealing. So maybe you put a dress that's $79 on your website and you know it's not going to sell, but it's going to make your $59 ones look really good, right? So there are all these different ways to sell more products, and you don't know unless you're consistently testing. So you always want to be testing. This is not a set it and forget it business. This is a business. It's an actual business. It takes work, and it takes you working on it consistently every single day or every other day. You know, you can't just stick it out there and walk away and hope for the best. And there's some other ways that you can get people to help you, like VAs and stuff like that we teach in the academy. And, you know, I have VAs working, you know, we have a couple VAs that we work with. Okay, Renee's back. She's 57. She's targeting 40 and up, women who are in this season of self-care and self-love. So that makes total sense. So Renee, when you have products that you're adding to your store, you know, okay, do they fit this person, right? So those are the three things: mindset, knowing your target audience, and consistency. Those are the three things that I believe are the keys to e-commerce success. So since we're making this into a little bit of a coaching thing, let me know if you have any questions in the chat, in the comments, that I can help you with. Renee, price anchoring equals business brilliance. We did a test on that with Stephanie with her jewelry, and she did an event, a little pop-up, and she actually sold the expensive stuff that we only priced higher to make the other stuff she wanted to sell better on the table. And she actually sold out of all of it, all of the higher price stuff. And we were laughing so hard because then she's like, oh my gosh, I need to get more higher price stuff, right? But it was all just a test, a price anchoring test. So it was it was actually pretty funny because she wouldn't have known, had she not brought those pieces that were higher priced, that her people would pay that much. Okay, Sonia says, when do you change out the clothes in your store for the season, like summer, fall? That's funny you asked, because I actually missed the season change my entire first year in business. I was like behind the ball the entire year. Let's see, it's August right now, so you should be, if you're bringing in product on hand, you should be ordering it right now for fall. If Target has fall stuff in, you need to have fall stuff in. So kind of that's what I started to use, because they have all this money behind their seasonal inventory, right? So if you go into Target and they have Halloween, you better have Halloween on your store before that or right around the same time. So that's kind of how I gauge it. But always think you need to be a couple months ahead of time. I actually had someone buy a Christmas, I'm trying to think what it was. It was like a Christmas sweater or something last week. So I went ahead and just put all my Christmas stuff back on the website, because I had put it into draft mode for spring and summer. But I thought one thing slipped through and I was like, oh, okay. Like, people are buying months ahead of time. So I would say a couple months ahead of the holiday would be a good rule of thumb. Sheila had the wrong time. I know, I hate this time zone thing, don't you guys? Okay, let's see. Women 30 and up who are active and have the intention to be, maybe in transformative years. Yeah, perfect. Maria says it's like that turquoise jewelry story in Santa Fe, the more expensive ones sold. Yeah, it was crazy. If you have not tried price anchoring on your store, and especially if you do an event or pop-up, try it out, because it was so funny. Stephanie was shocked, and I honestly was too, that all the higher price stuff sold. And really, it was just sitting there, you know, just to hold space. Okay, Renee says, what's the last step to make sure everything is set up to launch? Honestly, if you have your products on there on the website and it looks, you know, good enough, I would turn it on, because just because you turn it on does not mean that everyone's going to run to it. You know, I've had ladies in the past that, you know, had panic attacks with removing the password for their store. And, you know, I had to explain to them, you know, people don't even know it's there until you tell them it's there, right? So take off the password. If you've got products, that's the key. You have to have products on there, and it has to not look, you don't want any template stuff on your theme. So if I built it, all you have to do is, if you have dropship products, all you have to do is put in the payments information so you can get paid. And I think after that, you should be ready to turn your store on, as long as you've gone in and done the, you know, the name and address and stuff like that. And then if you are just launching, make sure you go watch yesterday's training on the Facebook runway to make sure that that's good to go. Because we've had ladies literally Facebook runway, launch their store, and get sales, right? Get a couple $100 worth of sales. Maria, do you remember? I know that we had We had several ladies last year that launched and got sales immediately. And there was even one that messaged me yesterday. She just launched like maybe last week and she got a sale. But if you have everyone excited for your store to come, that's when you're going to get the most sales initially. Does that help? All right, anybody have any other questions or wins? Does anybody have a win that you want to talk about? Oh, let's see. Sheila says, I was literally moving summer stuff off new arrivals, but I'm struggling on what to make inactive now since I live in a warmer climate zone. Sheila, I would honestly leave your stuff on there probably till October and then reevaluate, because you're right. And your ads are targeting Florida people. Honestly, you know what? I think I might just leave it on there and just maybe do a summer category or something like that. Call it something better than summer category, but leave it on, put it over in a separate category and get it out of your new arrivals. Maybe call it vacation something. Okay, Renee says, I think I took it off. Oh, you Googled and it came up? Oh, wow. Okay, because that usually takes a while. Okay. Amanda needs help with theme and setup. Okay, Amanda, see if you can. Are you in one of the academies, Amanda? I feel like you are. I think I can't remember which one you're in. Boutique Growth Academy? If you are, that Facebook group is where you want to post questions and screenshots. The more information, the better. And I can help guide you on that. And just remember, Shopify will confuse you. They will tell you that you need to do things that you don't need to do. So just keep that in mind, because if it's saying something isn't complete, you can go look at it, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's not complete. And Shopify keeps changing things around, right? Because I'm always building stores and I go in there and stuff is in a different place than it was last time. And this is automatically in there now. And it didn't used to be. One of the policies now, they have where you can turn it on and it will automatically, I think it's the, is it the terms of service, maybe? Go in and look at go to settings and then policies and look. There's one of them in there that's automatic now. So you can just switch the little thing on and it'll keep it automatically updated. So if your store's already been built or up for a while, you go in and check that. You know, yours probably isn't turned on because it's a new thing that they've been doing. So, but just remember, don't panic, because a lot of times the shipping will be set up by default. And then Shopify will say on your homepage, oh, shipping's not set up. So they want you to do, like, remember, they want you to use every little piece of Shopify, right? So they're going to keep telling you. There's stuff they tell me that I know doesn't need to be done. So don't panic if it's saying that. Go check it out, but don't panic. It likely you don't have to worry about it. Sonia says, if I add my logo to my Shopify store account, yeah, that'll help. Yeah. And there are a couple different places where you can add it. You want to add it definitely to your theme, so it'll be in the top of your store, but then they've made this new thing. It's a brand something that's in the settings now, and you can go in and put your logo in there also. And so it'll add your logo to some other things. And that's a newer thing that they've done. So most likely, if your store's already been set up, you don't have that done. Okay, does anyone have any other questions? You can also drop them in here if you're watching this later or watching the replay. The main things I wanted to teach you about were, I just want you to remember how important your mindset is, how important consistency is. You have to be consistent. You have to have a good mindset. If you're an impatient person, practice patience, because you're going to get into so many situations where you just need to be patient. And so it's very, very important, and it's also a long-term business. So just know that you will never have everything done. There will always be something to do. And I was just talking with Kathy on a private call yesterday, and I said, there's always something to do. And she was like, yes, Sheila, you're on here. You've had your source since I think I think we started in 2020 and you kind of really launched in 2021. There's always something to do. Am I right? So if you're one of those people that likes to check off your to-do list, this is an ongoing to-do list that you're going to have for the rest of the time that your business is open. So just don't panic and just know there's always going to be something that you need to do. Okay. Just stay consistent. And any of you that are interested in getting into the Ecom Academy, we do have a few spots left. And just drop 5K in the chat and we'll get you the link to look at, what's included. And it's really only for ladies that are really serious about this and they are committed to making it work. So I will see you guys. I will be live, I think, next week, at least 1 or 2 times. So I will see you guys then. Bye.